Season 8, Episode 4. April, it's summertime. Spring has sprung, but now we're getting into summer. We're getting into vacations. We're getting into time off with kids from school and all that stuff. We homeschool, so we're always on summer break in some aspects, feeling like that way anyways. So one thing that summer brings is kind of like, different types of food. Like maybe you don't really eat food, the same type of summer food that you would because it's not in season, whatever. So for us is grilled food. We love to grill. It's charcoal all day long. You
Oh,
can't be a sissy and do a bunch of, LP gas grills or whatever. No, 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 no. You gotta put in the effort to put in the love into it so you can taste it. It's real good. So yeah, grilled food. And if I had to add another thing that comes with summer, food wise, is homemade ice cream. We love some homemade ice cream. Homemade Oreo is our favorite. Gosh, we do banana. We've done banana pudding homemade ice cream, which is stupendous. Chocolate stuff, all kinds of good stuff. So anyways, summer for us brings grill food and homemade ice cream. So what would be something that summer brings for you?
before I get into that, I would like to apologize for all the gas grillers that Mitchell offended.
I'm not apologizing anything.
Because I'm like a gas grill kind of girl. Because listen, I just got to push a button and I can cook my food. There was one summer we literally grilled literally every single day for like a month. It's because it was like when we first got a gas grill. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so totally use that. So maybe I'm offended that you are turning your nose up at gas grillers.
I don't
Um,
care.
but charcoal, it does taste great. But for the moms out there who are just trying to feed their families, there is no shame in like pushing that button for that gas grill. But as far as like summer foods, I don't really have one. And ironically, even in the heat of summer, I will still drink my hot tea all day long. In the middle of summer, you will still see me drinking a hot drink. So
I mean, I love hot coffee regardless of whatever. So I get that.
it's all good. I'm kind of jealous that y'all get homemade ice cream. I've never made ice cream. But I know
Oof.
like homemade ice cream sounds so, so good. But I
Yeah.
don't know made it, so I don't know.
We'll have to figure out how to do that for you. What ice cream would you like to try? I mean, making ice cream, you can make vanilla ice cream, you can make chocolate ice cream, but part of making homemade ice cream is that you could add anything you want to in it. Whether you want fruit, like we made strawberry before, I think we made peach before. Yeah, it just depends on what you want to put in it. So what would you, if you could make your homemade ice cream, or when, because you can go get an ice cream maker. I mean, you plug it in, it'll churn it. You got to get all the ingredients right. Get your salt, get your ice, and all that stuff. But like, it's easy. It's not difficult. What ice cream would you want to make for your first ice cream? That's a great question.
Okay, so first I'll be like, can we just like let me get vanilla down pat? That'll be my first. But second, fun fact about me growing up, my favorite ice cream was black raspberry.
Yeah.
Black raspberry ice cream is like I haven't had it since I was a kid, to be honest. But I remember as a kid, that was my favorite. My granddad loved ice cream. When I say loved ice cream, it was like every dessert was ice cream. And so we would have vanilla, butter pecan, or pecan, depending on what part of the country you live in.
Pecan.
That was so good. But black raspberry was my jam. And I love caramel. So anything with caramel, that's my jam too. So I don't know. I'm not committing to making homemade ice cream, but I'll just come and have some of yours.
Yeah, I mean that needs to happen. I don't know. Next batch we make, we need to send some to you guys
Yes.
because it's great, man. Some good stuff.
Cool. Well, today we're talking about fear, Mitchell. This is like a big one because so many people have this fear of being seen. We've talked about all month long just how you have to make the shift to being a content creator. You're an operator in your business, you're growing the business, you're doing all the things. But there comes a time when you really have to shift and become a storyteller. You have to create routines so that you can be consistent at this thing. And then as you're creating content, you have to say, all right, I'm creating content to serve. So it's like I have all the pieces. Like I know I need to create content. I've accepted that. I can't just be an operator. I've got to be a storyteller. All right, now I've created this routine around creating content. So there's a rhythm I can follow. All right, now when it comes to the types of content I'm making, I know I'm answering questions, I'm serving instead of selling, I'm being relational, not transactional, but I can't quite push the button because I have this fear. Maybe it's imposter syndrome, maybe it's fear of judgment, maybe you don't feel ready to put yourself out there. But honestly, if your business is going to truly grow, if you're going to maximize the content you're creating, you have to give your voice an opportunity to grow along with your content. So I want to talk about today, and I know we're gonna hash this out. How do we overcome that fear and like just push the button and showing up online? And so, Mitchell, what do you think is really behind the fear when it
Mm.
comes to showing up online? Like, why do people hide?
Well, man, I think it's different based on the person, which it's so easy to say that. You
Right.
make me smile. You make me smile for when you said maybe you don't want to be seen. That is my wife. She does not like any sort of attention. I remember when we first started to date, and I told her this years later, like one of the things I was legitimately concerned with was losing you in a crowd because you don't want any kind of attention. And for someone who doesn't mind attention, that sometimes looks for attention, and to be attracted to someone who doesn't want that attention, one is just kind of funny. But two, like I was legitimately concerned, like, am I going to forget her because she's so quiet? I mean, listen, she loves being under the radar, and she's probably one of the people that is the most under the radar, at least in my life anyways. But, and I've grown to love and respect that too. So as far as what's the main fear, I mean, I know for me and for someone like my wife, Jennifer, she one just doesn't want to. There's enough people out there to do that. And luckily she doesn't have to do that because she would want to throw up. So for me, for even doing this podcast, I mean, I in this world, you go on YouTube and you see a ton of talking heads, you see a ton of vloggers, you see a ton of all this stuff, and even more so today. Today you go to YouTube and you see all this stuff, and I have a fun personality. I have a sense of humor. I could see, like, Jennifer and I have actually talked about doing this before and being a presence on putting content out there. And there's just always been a thing. And with us working with different clients, I see it in different people. And I think what sticks out to me the most, and I think it's because it hits me kind of in my core, is that who wants to hear what I have to say? Like, I mean, there's other people out there doing a great job. Why do I have to do it? And I think a close second is for someone, especially with our clients. And again, I think it speaks a little bit with me. For you to be a great leader, for you to be a great entrepreneur and a great boss and great business owner and all these things, one of those things, a common quality that many of those people have is humility. And I think it could actually prevent people from hitting that record button and doing what we're doing right now. And I guess it's a shame. I don't know, maybe a shame is the wrong term, because the shame is in today's world. And again, it's not shame, but in today's world, you almost have to be out there. You have to put yourself out there, depending on your industry and your market. It's important to put yourself out there. And for some people, it's hard because it fights against that humility aspect, I guess,
Yeah.
and again, that's a great quality to have, but understanding how to do it that fits you and your personality and fits your market and your business and your client, and relating to your clients and your customer base, finding a way to do that, I think, is very important in today's world.
Yeah, a lot of people that I've talked to about this topic, when we get to the root of it, the fear of being seen isn't really about visibility, so to speak. It's more about vulnerability.
Mm.
It's like, "Oh, are people gonna take me seriously?" What if they do see me or see my story, hear what I have to offer, but then they choose to buy from someone else, or they don't wanna be criticized, or they deal with comparison, or is someone gonna even understand what I have to say, misunderstand me? But regardless of what the reason is why you may be listening to this and you do have this fear of being seen, we want to let you know that those fears are valid, right? We recognize that's a real feeling and we're not dismissing that. But we want to encourage you that that fear of being seen, don't let that lead you into the decision of whether you're going to show up or not show up.
Right.
Because the longer a person hides, Mitchell, that's the longer their audience goes unserved. Like at the end of the day, you're meant to help people. And if you don't show up, then they're not gonna find you. I love to listen. Not only do we have a podcast, but I love to listen to podcasts. I listen to podcasts all the time. And I was listening to just this marketing podcast, and the host was just talking about how, so often people have the greatest product out there, but people don't know it exists. And your business won't survive if people don't know that the business or the service or the product exists. And so it's really important for us just to bite the bullet and recognize, all right, I've got to reframe what visibility is for me. Last episode, we talked about how your content, it's serving people. And that's how you have to reframe your thoughts around visibility. Visibility is me serving people. You mentioned how people don't want the attention kind of put on them. It's humility. That's so true. And as you reframe that thought process, you recognize that visibility is not about getting yourself attention, but it's getting people access to what you have to offer. So you're not showing up necessarily to be seen, right? So if you have this fear of showing up because you don't want to be seen, well, you're not even showing up to be seen. You're showing up so that the right people can find your message, find your product, connect with what you have, so they can be helped and served, so they can grow, they can work with you, whatever it is. And so showing up, I want you to reframe it where you're not thinking about it as a stage. And I know we use the word platform, right? We say all these social media, what platform are you on, right? And so when you think of platform, you do think, oh, there's this elevation. Oh, I'm out in front. Oh, people are seeing me. I'm on this platform. But what if you reframed your thinking where it's not necessarily a stage where you're performing, but it's more of like this bridge that's connecting people with you and what you have to offer. So it's like you're providing something for them by showing up. I don't know. Does that make sense?
It does. And I love the bridge analogy. I love transforming platform to bridge. And man, there's so much, that's pretty heavy. It's almost like if you are showing up to be seen, you're doing it wrong. And you have the wrong concept in mind. So if you are a person that loves attention and you're showing up to be seen, you're doing it wrong. If you're a person who hates attention and you think that I have to do this to be seen, you're doing it wrong. It's connecting, it's bridging, it's taking the answer and bringing it to the problem, finding a solution and bringing it to the problem. And there has to be a conduit. There has to be a thing that connects A to B. And it's this bridge of content. Man, I love that analogy. That's so beautiful. And I love the idea of, I don't know, it would be cool if the whole content world could change from platform to bridge, really, in a way, because I think that's at least for We Dream, I think that is a great way to really explain the purpose behind this. It's not to stand up taller than everyone and have everyone look up to us because we are the example. It's more of finding a way to connect to people to show that, hey, this is authentic, this is us, this is who we really are, and this is what we're really trying to do. And it really removes that stress and that weight of being the one looked up to. And there's other ways, but that really sticks out to me the most. I love the idea of changing platform to bridge. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's verbiage that we need to keep saying because, people, when you recognize the importance of a bridge, right? I'm sure most people have driven across a bridge before in their vehicles. Usually under the bridge is a body of water a lot of times, not all the time, but it's like without that bridge, you can't get from point A to point B. Like the bridge is so necessary. And so you showing up is so necessary for people to be served. So I'm sure, like many of you, you've been in a vehicle where you've had to cross from one side to the other over a bridge. A lot of times there may be a body of water underneath, not all the time. But without that bridge, you're not going to get from point A to point B. That bridge is necessary. And so as a content creator, right, we know it's necessary for us to make that connection for people. But you may understand that, you may know that, but you may not feel ready. You're like, I understand, like, yes, I have something that's important, it's necessary, but I'm not quite ready. And we just want to encourage you. No one ever feels ready, right? Confidence doesn't come a lot of times before you show up. It usually comes from you showing up. And
Mm.
so our encouragement is start messy, start scared, start small, whatever these words are that are coming up for you, still start, right? Because the more you do it, the more you create, you'll get more clarity, you'll find your rhythm, and you'll find your people. And that's really what it's all about. It's like, I want to find the people that I'm called to serve. I want to be that bridge. So when people are on this side of the bank or this side of the bridge, it's like they're searching, searching. I want to go to the other side. I want to go to the other side. And they're searching, 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 searching. And then here you show up and boom, they find the exact bridge that they need to get across to the other side. So it's so important that you got to start even when you're not ready. Being a permanent marker kind of person, Mitchell, what emotions come up for you when we talk about starting even when you're not ready?
Yeah. So you have to go back and listen to some other podcasts. We need to mark them somehow or something for people to understand this concept. So just to kind of explain what April there is talking about, April is a pencil with an eraser. And sometimes she doesn't use it. Sometimes she just scribble it out and just write it over to the side. And I'm a permanent marker. I am making sure what I'm putting there is not to where I have to erase it or to mark it out and start a new page or whatever. So it's funny because I've had someone ask me this before. Like, so I've played drums. I have spoken in front of people, have been first before, and I have put myself out there and I wasn't ready. So what's the thing? Like, when you play drums, okay, this is the thing about drums. When you are playing in a band, if the drums mess up, you will hear it. I mean, like many instruments, and especially with people with ears, you can, like with a music ear, you can hear the keys mess up, or you could hear someone singing off note, or you can hear the bass or the guitar or whatever instrument it is. But with drums, like, it sticks out. Like, not everyone will hear it and everyone will pay attention. And so there's there I'm not saying it's more than any other instrument. I'm just saying that it's very prominent. So there's this fear of, I'm going to get up there and I'm just going to fall on my face, like, whatever. But I still did it, and playing in front of new crowds and like whatever, new audiences or like, there's this thing that, like, you just have to do it. You just have to get in and do it. And for whatever reason, content, it's hard for people to make that jump. But you said it though, like, just get used to the idea of generating and making content. Even if it's awkward, it's best to just do it.
If you're listening or you're watching this and you need help with this, you want to show up, but you're not sure how to start, it feels scary, you want to take that leap, definitely send us a DM on Instagram. We would love to help you. We believe in you. We believe that your story is important. And as we work together, you will see we
We
dream
dream
media.
media.